Hey. I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music, and this right here, this is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing. Liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. Without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. First of all, let's talk about Donald J. Trump, of course. He dominates the news cycle. I gotta talk about him. Gotta open the show with him. I don't want to talk about this dude. We're gonna be talking about this dude until he's finally gone. Hopefully the final nail in his coffin will be this next election. Either he'll be our president or that'll be the final nail in his coffin. But I can't say we'll never hear from him again because that guy's got a lot of money and he loves the sound of his own voice. So we're probably going to unfortunately be subject to hearing him on TV and in the media until he, shuffles loose this mortal coil. But anyway, as far as our purposes, as politics on this show, we got to talk about him because, like I said, he dominates the news cycle and he is a major player in politics for all types of reasons. So let's get right into it. 63% of the Republicans surveyed at the Iowa caucus said that Trump would still be fit to be president even if he was convicted of a crime. Okay. That still leaves more than a third of that group who said a convicted Trump shouldn't return to the White House. So think about that. Keep that in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Still a third of these Iowa caucus Republicans, and these are true, red repping Republicans right here, but they even said, a third of them have said that if Trump ends up being a criminal and is prosecuted, he's unfit to return to office. They were saying that of the people coming out to the Iowa caucus, a third of them think if Trump is convicted, he is not fit to be president. That's what I'm saying. And think a third of them. So that's something. Because like I said, these people right here are staunch Republicans. These are not independents. These people rep the red, and that is what it is. But even they're saying, even though Trump is their guy, and he's been their guy forever, they saying that guy would not be fit to return to office if he's a criminal, right? If he has a prison number. So that's something interesting to think about because everybody is on that tip. And a lot of people I think are they're not gaslighting, but what they're doing is, just trying to make sure that people don't sleep on the election, and let it be known that Trump could win again. Hey, I'm one of those people. Trump could win again. You know what I'm saying? Mark my words. He definitely could win again. But right here shows that there's a whole lot of people this go around who are not feeling him that were feeling him last time. That is anecdotal. You know what I'm saying? That does not mean that people should rest on their laurels thinking that, a third of true Republicans ain't even feeling Trump no more, so why we even care? Get out of here. Democrats, within earshot of my voice, get up off your butt and start hollering at Democrats and independents and make sure they come out to vote. Now, I've been said on my show that Republicans, that's probably a lost cause with a lot of them. They probably gone by the wayside. Unless maybe you get one that's not a Trumpeter. There are still some Republicans who don't bow down to Lower King Trump. If you can find a few of them, you might be able to talk sense to a few of them. It is what it is. Things aren't great. Once again, here we are doing the same thing again. Is this a replay of 2000? What was that? 2020? 2020. What is this? 2024 win. So we're doing that again with Biden and Trump. Yeah, we're doing it again. America likes old white men as presidents. There it is. So that's what we got, right? That's our nominees. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about immigration. Let's talk about the problem that is immigration. Immigration. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has been sending immigrants who come to Texas to different Democratic states. Whoa! When I first heard that, I was like, wow, okay, here we go with that political theater. But then I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? When I look at these numbers, I'm like, nah, that guy has a serious problem, as do a lot of these people have serious problems. And they've said something to the federal government, but of course, immigration is something they choose to kick down the road for a lot of different reasons. There are two big reasons. I'm going to talk about them in the midst here, quote my boy Chris Matthews. But before I get there, let me just jump right into this. So number one, let's talk about the numbers of people that he's been sending out of Texas to other places. 12,500 to Washington, D.C., 37,500 to New York, 31,200 to Chicago. These are immigrants, ladies and gentlemen. The cat was trying to come into Texas. He put them on a plane or bus or whatever, sent them right up out of state. 33,400 to Philadelphia, 16,000 to Denver, 1,500 to Los Angeles. The name of this policy or this campaign is Operation Lone Star. That's what it's called, Operation Lone Star. Operation Keep People out of Texas. That's what that is. So altogether, if you add that up, I got my little calculator, I got to pump the numbers in. 102,100 immigrants was trying to come up in Texas, and he booted them out to Democratic states. I don't know what to say about that, except that what's the man supposed to do? That's a whole lot of people that was trying to come into Texas. 102,100 immigrants, 102,000 extra people in your state. You're going to feel that, right? So federal government, they keep on kicking it down the road. And why do they keep kicking it down the road? Well, hold up, we'll get to that. First of all, Governor Greg Abbott said that Texas has a constitutional right to protect itself from unlawful immigrants trying to smuggle drugs into their state. He said, so we got these immigrants trying to come in, trying to smuggle drugs, trying to do all this other stuff in our state. If the federal government won't get off their rusty dusty and do something, then under the Constitution, Texas has a right to protect itself. So that's why he's got like the Texas National Guard and all of them out there, and it's a big thing. People want Biden to go over there and, demand, because he's the president, that the Texas National Guard step down, but they don't want to do that because they're like, man, we got 102, thousand people trying to run up in the state. In any given year, Mr. Biden, so what are we supposed to do about that? So just let these people come in, or what? So they're choosing to not do that because they're like, hey, we got resources here that are already, I'm sure, stressed. And then when you add that many people to it, that ain't helping, right? So I hate to say, I might agree with Mr. Abbott on that right there. What you supposed to do? And a lot of Democrats and Republicans have talked about the quote unquote crisis at the border, what's going on at the border. Not too much movement on it, nothing happens. I was reading something where they said that maybe there's a resolution coming up that would give Biden more control over immigration, and he said he would vote for that, which people thought was wild, but he would do that, they were saying, because it would give him the power to shut down what's going on in Texas and make it to where I guess that they couldn't stop immigrants from coming in. But I'm like, why does it seem like the Democratic Party has such an interest in immigrants coming in? Now, I understand that they say this is who we are as a country. This is who we are. It's the humanitarian thing to do. It's the human thing to do. That when people are seeking asylum from a bad situation, we open our arms, we open our borders and let them in. I hear that. I also hear the other side that's like, listen, we don't have the resources for that. We got people here in America who sleep in cardboard boxes and outside in the cold. So we really don't have it to be taking in your huddled masses yearning to be free right now. And definitely ain't got to do like it seems like everyone's coming to America. You know what I'm saying? So it is what I guess it's one of the most popping clubs on the planet because everybody trying to get up in here. So TI is what a TI is, right? But with that said, my dude Chris Matthews, whose show has long since been gone from MSNBC, he said it best, and I think that, and I always quote him. I've quoted him on the show before. I'm gonna quote him again. He always said, immigration is going nowhere. Republicans want the free and cheap labor. Democrats want the votes. Republicans want the free and cheap labor. Democrats want the votes. Now I want you to pay attention to that second part. Democrats want the votes. I was like, what? But then I'm like, hold up. And you might even be saying that too. Well, immigrants can't vote, right? They're not citizens. Well, not when they first come over, but usually they do what? They assimilate into American culture and they become citizens, right? Some of them. I'll say, I think maybe mostly the majority of them. I don't have the numbers on that, but the TI is what TI is, right? So we'll say most of them assimilate and want to become Americans, right? So that happens. So those are votes, right? So that does make sense that the Democratic Party wants these votes. Here's another thing. Candace Owens. There's a young sister, a young lady I never agree with. I think Candace Owens is very pretty and very intelligent. I do not agree with a DAMN thing that she thinks politically. Politically, we don't agree on anything. But how about this? She said this and it made a whole lot of sense. She said, this is the last election where the black vote will even matter. Immigrant numbers will make them the #1 voting bloc, replacing the black vote. Democrats will no longer need the black vote. Now, I'm paraphrasing what she said, but that's what she was saying. She said, so black America needs to wake up to the immigration problem. Because she said they will replace us. And how about this? The Democratic Party has only lightweight even courted the black vote, right? Because I told a Republican friend of mine, neither party cares about my community. Let that be known. You know what I'm saying? Democrats don't care about black folk. Republicans don't care about black folk. That's just the real. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what's the lesser of two evils, Democrat, and even the Democrats, like I said, play with the black vote. They promise things and they never deliver, knowing that most black people still going to vote democratically because once again, it's the lesser of two evils. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So TI is what a TI is, and that ends up going down like that. But yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense that those are the new voters. And she said this is the last election where they will even probably even be courting the black vote. Because it just won't matter anymore, you know, because we won't have the numbers. My dad always talks about it. He said politics is all about the numbers. Who's got the numbers? And the Mexican and Spanish numbers are you know what I'm saying, they're immense. So, you know what I'm saying, that's definitely going to be the next voting bloc that's attractive to the Democratic Party. And that's why they're doing a lot of things. I read a thing where they talked about how I think they had kids in New York, and they were telling parents to keep their kids at home because they wanted the immigrant kids to be able to go to classrooms. So the immigrant kids were going to the school and feeling the seat that these kids in America, they telling their parents keep them home so they can't feel the seat. I'm not against immigrants. I'm not against immigration, but what is that? But that also makes me feel like we got a certain party that's trying to look attractive to immigrants coming over because that is the new voting bloc. It makes sense. There's your numbers. If I'm wrong, once again, you're always in the pushback zone. Feel free to push back. I love it. I live for it. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about something that affects us all, whether you're an immigrant or an American or a Brazilian or anybody. If you're a human being and you breathe air, you need to be drinking water, right? There's a song that Mos Def has, New World Water. If you ain't never heard that, after this, go Google that. That's a good song right there, New World Water. But that's what it's about, man. Water is important, right? So let's talk about our water. And I'm always telling people, drink more water, drink more water. I need to drink more water. I'm always telling myself, drink more water. But with that, what's in this water we're drinking? Check this out. Water. Scientists say they'll cut back on bottled water after learning 1 liter contains 250,000 pieces of plastic. I heard that. I don't like that at all. Let me read that again. 1 liter contains 250,000 pieces of plastic. Jeez. So here it is. We done use so much plastic. Of course, it's in the water. They analyzed 3 brands of bottled water and found that 1 liter contained an average of 240,000 pieces of plastic. 90% were nanoplastics and not microplastics. But check this out. Nanoplastics are smaller than microplastics, making them more dangerous. Easier for them to enter the human body. Oh, Lord. So the most dangerous of the plastics is the one they found a lot of in our drinking water, ladies and gentlemen. In bottled water. Bottled water. A lot of us, me included, call ourselves drinking bottled water because, wow, this is the healthier water. It ain't water coming out the tap. It seems like all this water is tainted. You're either going to drink bottled water that's full of plastic, or you can drink water out the tap that's full of whatever. Anyway, laser-powered microscopes found 110,000 to 400,000 pieces of plastic per liter. That's an average of about 240,000 minuscule particles of plastic. So, you know, take that with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Whole lot of plastic up in our water. I guess nothing's safe anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't breathe the air, can't drink the water. I never thought it'd come to a time in my life. Don't breathe the air. Don't drink the water. Whatever you do, don't eat the food. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not ending like that. First of all, I got a couple of IPAs coming to where I would never end on such a negative note like that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some of this delicious beer that's out here. This Warped Wing Brewing Company got this space food American Indian Pale Ale. It is a good one. It's 7.0% alcohol. This brewing company is, I think this is the one that's in, is this the one that's in Dayton, I think? Hold on, it says share a pint, make a friend. Where is this place at? Because I was just reading about it, and I think it's in Dayton. Here, right here, it says, in seconds, the ship will self-destruct. Gus, the ship's computer, has seized control. A mutiny. Our hero captain secures the payload, a monolithic essence from a planet Hops, and escapes unscathed in a can-shaped pod. Space food American Indian Pale Ale. A galaxy of citrus and Vic secret hops in every sip. Eat that, Gus. Interesting. All right. So they got a whole little story about Gus escaping with this delicious IPA. This is a good one. And like I said, I want to say this place is in Dayton. There it is. Yeah, brewed and canned by Warped Brewing Company in Dayton, Ohio. So this right here is some local beer. This is good stuff right here. Space food. That's good stuff. Here's another one, and this is by another local brewery. This is called Warden's Pie. Warden's Pie. Let me get that for you right there so you can check that out. Warden's Pie. This is interesting. Look at that can right there. First of all, the can art on this is amazing. Look at that can art. This is great. And it's called the Phoenix Brewing Company in Mansfield, Ohio. I used to work with a lady from Mansfield. She got family in Mansfield. I guess they got this Phoenix Brewing Company in Mansfield. This right here, this Warden's Pie, a blackberry tart fruit ale, 7% alcohol. Right here it says, taste the Warden's favorite pie, loaded with all-natural blackberry, cinnamon, and just a hint of cherry. This classic kettle sour is refreshingly tart, sweet, and delicious. Wow. Resurrecting tradition, one batch at a time. Phoenix Brewery. So, they obviously are taking their beer very seriously. This was not an IPA. This was a flavored beer, and it was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't taste much blackberry in this, but I did taste the tart, and I like a tart beer. Some people like that, some people don't. If you don't like tart, you might not dig that. I thought it was great. But this is also pricey too. This is a $5 beer right here. If you want to drink good, you usually get what you pay for, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to beer, you get what you pay for. So this was a good beer. Like I said, I didn't love the taste of it but it was a good beer. I mean, it was delicious, and it was very tart. I like that tart, and you can tell it's made well. These beers are made well, so you're gonna pay for them. But once again, you get what you pay for. That is my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at the time right there, and it has drawn nigh. I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music. This is Urban Politics. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take yourself on over to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. But without further... Oh, all right. How about to open the show again? As always, ladies and gentlemen, see you around like a donut.